Do you struggle with your words needing to feel or sound just right? You're not alone. We're going to talk all about this OCD theme. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist. I make videos for people with anxiety or OCD. And today I want to talk to you about a just right OCD theme that is really common and really frustrating. And maybe you struggle with this as well. Do your words need to feel or sound just right? This can be really overwhelming. It can stop you from talking. It could make you repeat yourself over and over again. And I've even seen people require other people to say things and repeat words back to them so that it feels or sounds just right. There's also just right stuff with writing words and all other just right themes, but I wanted to talk in particular about speaking words that feel or sound just right, because this can really impact your life. And it can frustrate you. It can make you not want to communicate with people. So let's just start with OCD in general. OCD is a glitch in the circuitry of your brain. The signal that says it's good, it's done, you're safe, different signals for different themes, doesn't get turned on. And so it gets stuck in the gears of that circuitry of the brain, and you become repetitive, needing to feel that satisfaction of that relief, whatever that may be, depending on your different OCD themes. With just right OCD, you're waiting for it to just, your brain to be like, yes, that sounded just right, let's move on. Yes, that sounded good, let's move on. But you don't get that, and so you have to repeat it and repeat it. And you're searching for that satisfaction that often you don't get, or you get it very briefly. You're like, okay, that felt good. But then the next time you have to struggle again. You don't ever get like a break from feeling that need to do it over and over again, because that's what OCD is. It's about that drive to do what we call those compulsions. Those are compulsions when you have to repeat yourself over and over to satisfy OCD. But the reality is OCD will never be satisfied. When you're trying to satisfy OCD, you are in the throes of OCD and OCD is dominating you. When you realize that you can never, ever satisfy OCD long term, and the more you try to satisfy OCD in the short term, the longer you're going to have this struggle. And that's just a hard truth and a hard reality, because it's easy to just try to give into OCD and repeat your words over and over. And it's harder to sit with the discomfort that it brings. It brings discomfort for people in different ways. Some people with just right OCD, and this may be you, don't have a fear. You're not afraid that something bad will happen if your words don't sound just right. It's just a feeling. And it's a feeling that your brain tells you you can't handle. You can't handle the feeling and that frustration if your words don't sound or feel just right, or if they're not echoed back to you in a way that feels or sounds just right. Now, for some of you, you might have another OCD theme attached to it. And so you might have just right OCD where it has to sound just right. And then there's a magical thinking part of it that says, and if it doesn't sound just right, this really bad thing is going to happen. And that could be any theme. It could be with moral OCD, or it could be anything. And so that will look different for each person. So you may or may not have a fear attached to it. It might just be a feeling that you are overwhelmed with. And what do you do with that? Well, regardless of what your theme is, whether it is just right OCD or contamination or symmetry or moral or harm, there's all these different flavors of OCD and how it can show up. But regardless of what it is, the key for all of it is to recognize that OCD wants you to do a certain thing or avoid a certain thing. So it might say don't talk at all, or it might say repeat, 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 repeat until it feels, sounds just right. When you are trying to satisfy OCD, like I said before, you will lose the game. You'll lose the end game because you will be in OCD's control. And so the way to get through it, and it's easier said than done, is to slowly resist doing what OCD wants you to do. That's the truth for all of OCD. Even if you have just intrusive thoughts and you feel like you don't have any compulsions, we are doing mental compulsions a lot of times inside of our head. The goal is to say to yourself, what does OCD want me to do, or what does OCD want me not to do? Because sometimes it'll be not to do versus do. And then do the opposite of what OCD wants or wants you not to do. And so in this case, OCD may want you to repeat over and over again. So when you have that urge, you recognize, okay, this is a just right OCD thing that's going on. And yeah, I could say my words over and over again until it feels just right, but then I'm going to be trapped in this cage of doing this for the rest of my life. The way through this, the key to opening up this cage is to make OCD wait. So maybe it's too hard to begin with to just refuse to do what OCD wants and to just say, I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to just say it once and I'm not repeating it, even though you're like, that didn't sound right, or that didn't feel right. I'm not going to do it. You want to build up to that. And one way to build up to that is to maybe say, I'm going to make you wait, OCD. And this is actually really good for your brain in that you're not firing those neurons instantaneously. It's not like I have this intrusive feeling and then boom, I'm doing exactly what OCD wants. I'm making my brain wait, which is actually really good for you to crush OCD. And so I might say, I'm going to wait a few minutes and then I'll repeat it. And you can try to work on how long can you wait until you repeat it. Maybe you only repeat it twice or 3 times or 5 times instead of 20 times, right? You're just reducing how much you're giving to OCD, how much you're offering OCD. And then over time, you might be able to resist it completely a lot of the time. When you start to really master that and you're doing really, really well, the ultimate goal would then to really annoy OCD. And you may not be ready for this right now, but you can get there. I've seen many, many people get there. You would say words on purpose that don't sound or feel just right. That's the ultimate exposure of I'm going to not only do what you don't want me to do, but I'm going to purposely do the things that I know upset you. And I'm going to really bother you to show you that I can handle the discomfort and I'm not afraid of you. And you're not going to live in this cage anymore. You're going to bust out of the cage and you're going to bother the person that has been keeping you captive, holding you captive, which is OCD. This doesn't happen overnight for most people. You just do it one slow step at a time. So the first step is just recognizing when you're doing it, yeah, I'm doing an OCD compulsion. That awareness is something more than nothing. And then move on from there. I'm going to make OCD wait for just a second and then grow it one small step at a time. When you're climbing a ladder, you don't just jump to the top. We're not like superhumans. We have to grab one rung at a time and slowly move up. Same thing with OCD. Grab one rung of the ladder and just slowly start to make some movement. And that could be a very small little movement, but it's something more than nothing. And it's going to get you slowly to that top where you can kick that ladder, get out of that cage, and start to get your power back. Well, I hope that you find the sparkle in everything you do. I'll talk to you again next Thursday. Take care.